right, let's open up our Twitter poll today. Dr. Avidan Appel of Iron Mountain Men's Health makes sure that the Twitter poll is strong all 4 hours here in the morning. We should have a good amount of results on it as well. Taking our temperature check on the Eagles. Nick Earnshaw, who's on the board today. What do we have for our Twitter poll question and the results so far?
All right, Connor. We have, how do you feel about the Eagles now compared to when the team walked off the field against the 49ers? Do you feel better? Feel the same? Feel worse? Right now, feel better is at 69%.
Okay. We're looking at a large majority then that are saying
that's a large
better.
7 out of 10.
I don't know how many people are saying they feel worse? What percentage is
what does feel worse?
12%.
Okay, so that's the real minor group. Roughly 1 out of 10. Is why do you two think people are saying feel better? I think Sean Mannion is a big part of it.
I think because A.J. Brown's gone. I think that's a big part of it.
You really think people feel better just because A.J.'s not here?
Yes.
I think the tide has turned on A.J. Brown. I do think the tide has turned. I think people have now seen A.J. Brown has shown his ass. He's shown his ass. He's shown who he really was. He's shown his behaviors. He's shown that he is not a grown. He doesn't conduct himself like a grown man.
And that's why,
and you're seeing it now.
John, I'd argue that that's why people are relieved, right? And they feel better because he's out of the locker room. He can't bring the team down. That's why I would say people are feeling a little bit better, Connor.
And here's what I'll tell those people. One, the talented wide receiver, don't let that get lost. Like, he was a very good player for the totality of his time here. Now, totality. Very good player. Now, listen to what I'm saying. I know where your head is going. Let me finish. Very talented player. The effort on the way out was not where it needed to be. Doesn't mean he wasn't still good.
He quit.
Sure. That doesn't change the talent level. Hear what I'm saying here. You've got an all-pro caliber or a Pro Bowl caliber guy walking out of the building. That needs to be accounted for. The emotion can't overshadow what this wide receiver room is going to have to make up for.
If I've got a talented player, but he's not playing, if I got a talented player and he's not giving me his all, if I got a talented player and he's jogging through plays and he's not giving me his all, what the hell do I care what his talent level is? I'm not getting the talent.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm glad to see it go.
I'm not talking about the effort level. I'm just saying there are some people who are like hearing what he's saying in New England. We're going to play something from A.J. Brown a little bit later on this hour. That are hearing that see the exit, and they're like, that guy always stunk. Glad he's gone.
Now, that's a stupid response.
That's who I'm talking
I would say to you, the first 3 years of A.J. Brown here, I would agree with you 100%. The last year of A.J. Brown, it was a bunch of dog poop, a flaming dog poop bag that somebody lit on fire.
I know. That's not the argument. I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree with you. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying don't let that change the evaluation of the talent that the guy had when he was here, which is something that just from a football perspective has to be made up for by some guys that you're taking shots on. Like Mekhi Lemon's a rookie. Dontavian Wicks has been the secondary or tertiary option in his NFL career. Hollywood Brown and Elijah Moore, you're throwing at a dartboard and seeing if you find something there. Like Eli Stowers is a rookie. Dallas Goedert had a great year last year. But the pass catchers outside of Devontae Smith, you could have valid questions about all of them. As much as A.J. Brown did not conduct himself well on the way out of here, going into any season with A.J. Brown as your number one wide receiver, you don't have the questions that you have about a lot of the guys in this wide receiver.
But if you had him going into the season next year, and I think what Nick's trying to say is, from that standpoint is that if you had him going into the season next year, you'd have a lot of questions about it.
Oh, for sure.
Because he was such a half-assed attitude and work ethic last year.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would say. I think that's why people are feeling better because they saw the performance and him dropping all those passes against San Francisco. They saw everything that went on, the twitch. He's a Patriots fan. He gets the rug, the whole thing. I think people are just glad that he's gone, and they're seeing a little bit different attitude out of Jalen Hurts. He's smiling a lot more. I mean, the guy's smiling a lot more this offseason. So I'm excited about that, and I think that's why people feel better.
This is part of my point of what I'm trying to say. JM on the YouTube says it pretty well here. Just him being out there opened up the field regardless of effort. I think that's valid. Now, does that make up for the way he conducted himself? No, I'm not trying to cover A.J. Brown's ass here. I'm just saying
I know you're not trying to do that.
That it's going to be like teams are going to prepare, whether the effort is there or not. A defensive coordinator, going to sleep the night before A.J. Brown is on the field or Mekhi Lemon as a rookie is on the field, are going to have different evaluations of their defense's chances.
Well, that's why I say is that everybody who is like, is Devontae Smith, is he a number one? And people are like, oh, yeah, Devontae Smith's a number one. You're saying that you've never seen it. We've never seen it where he's been asked to be this franchise's number one guy.
We have, though.
No,
early on in his career.
You've seen it in little.
We can't project that out.
You've seen it in a little game. And I think that, and I still believe no matter what happens, and I love Devontae Smith's game, I still think him as a number one is easier for defenses to prepare against than A.J. Brown as a number one.
Yeah. What I've been trying to get to, though, and I brought this up a couple weeks ago, I forget why we were having the conversation. It was just A.J. related probably, but remember, the Phillies had a situation like this. Nick Castellanos, there were plenty of stories that came out after the Phillies released him about issues in the locker room, playing his own music after losses, being a bit of an eye guy at points. Now, I don't want to just turn this into a comparison of the two guys. That's not where I'm getting here. But Castellanos left. There were some people, myself included, who had the conversation about, hey, could the Phillies just be better? Could this be addition by subtraction? That the locker room's in a better spot because a guy that wasn't on the best terms with everybody is no longer with the team. Take a look at what the Phillies have done offensively. Take a look at what the Phillies have done from the right side of the plate.
They're not better.
Take a look at what they've done in the outfield.
They're not better.
No, they're not.
And by the way, is Nick was not a problem, much like A.J. Brown. You see me? Yes, there were guys, Bryce Harper, who had problems with Nick Nick Castellanos. There were many guys in that locker room that did not.
Right, and he was the same about AJ.
He was not, exactly. No, AJ was more loved than Nick Castellanos.
Exactly. So more I think loved. I don't want people to overstate. Correct. AJ's gone, so they've got to improve. The Phillies are showing us right now that is not necessarily something that you can count on. Now it's different sport, different player, different environment. I just want that as a rule of thumb there. But let us know on the Twitter poll there. Get your votes in on how you're feeling about the Eagles. I don't know how anybody could be feeling worse. I don't know.
I don't know either.
That's 12% for the feeling worse feels way too high for
AJ's burner account?
I don't think he has enough to get 12% of the vote.
Brian Colangelo's burner?
Don't sell him short. Don't sell AJ short.
I don't think he's got hundreds of them. But
you never know. Could be like Kevin Durant.
I need to hear from y'all the 12% on the text line.
I said
like
y'all. That. He had a y'all. You were born in the South.
North Carolina, baby.
There you go.
I need to hear from that group. What is making you feel worse about the Philadelphia Eagles today on June 12th, 2026 than when you saw them walk off the field against the 8th string of the San Francisco 49ers after losing in the postseason? Like,
you're not kidding with that,
no,
by the way.
They were getting guys off the street, and they came into your house, and they knocked you out of the postseason, and you're telling me that today you feel worse than that moment. You better have a damn good argument because I don't see a single reason. Now, if you want to say I feel the same because I have questions, sure. But I'm in the feel better camp. A majority is in the feel better camp. So I like where a lot of the fan base's head is at.
I do too.
I need to hear from that 12%. What do we have on the text line so far on our Eagles conversation, Nick?
So we got a couple of texts coming in on the Eagles. One saying, when is this done? If they're not an Eagle anymore, enough. It sure would be nice if there are no more talks about A.J. Brown.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a pleasure to have him gone. I'm glad to have him gone. And the more he talks, the more I'm thrilled that he's gone. Going to be really happy to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, when do we move on? We had that conversation early this week. For some people, it's going to take a little bit of time. In fact, coming up in our next segment, we're going to play you a little bit of audio from up in New England.
So it's not over, Connor.
It's as much as some want it to be. It's tough to move on. It really is, and I don't blame Eagles fans. My point earlier in the week on that was like,
not at all.
Yeah, if you want to hold the grudge, hold the grudge. The way he exited, you should
and the
feel
way he continues to exit, hold a grudge. In fact, make the grudge bigger.
Make the grudge bigger.
Make it bigger. Make it bigger.
I'm not.
Oh, I'm
absolutely not.
Oh, I'm amping it up.
I don't even really have one.
I'm amping it up.
I'm totally like non-concerned with it at this point. We're on to what the Philadelphia Eagles can do themselves with the guys in the room. That's where I'm at. But
I get you. No, I get you and totally understand it.
But again, I'm not going to tell anybody not to hold a grudge. That's not where I'm at right now. Now we're going to check in again on the text line here in a second, but in just about 3 minutes here, We're going to do an exercise. I saw an article today on ESPN where they were breaking down to this point in the season what the ABS numbers are for individual hitters, individual catchers, and for full teams. So this is the data on the success percentage of challenges. They've got the top 15 or so, 20 or so individual hitters and catchers, and then they have every team broken out. So we'll get to that, and we'll see if you guys can guess a couple of the Phillies that are on the top 20 list in both of those categories and where the team stands. But what else do we have on the text line? We've been getting into the Phillies a lot. Do we have some Phillies texts back there on what we've been talking about today?
Yeah, we got a couple of Phillies texts coming in, guys. And one says, just a couple, not a little more than a couple, actually. I agree with John Kincaid. The Phillies are one starting pitcher injury away from being a sub-500 team. The bats are so underperforming. The outfield is so questionable. With Garcia's injury, it shows we have zero depth. John C. in Tennessee.
Yeah, if the Dodgers didn't have Shohei, they wouldn't be the Dodgers the same way. I mean, if you're going to say if Christopher Sanchez gets hurt, this team is in trouble, thanks for breaking news to us today.
If Shohei Ohtani's out, the Dodgers offense does not fall apart. That is ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
No, but they're not who they are.
Their offense does not fall apart. The Phillies. Look, it is a bad. Let's just put it. It is a bad setup right now for the Phillies. They are paper thin, and how you have a paper thin team that hangs by a thread as far as you don't have depth. You don't have you don't have guys to call up from your system. When you're a top 4 payroll, it's unbelievable to me.
Well, top 4 payroll doesn't play to the minor league system. That's a different conversation.
No, it means it's that you don't even have a good roster at the major league level. You haven't built a roster at the major league level that is it. You can't, Connor. You can't. If they build a good roster, I'm going to put this to you here because you're looking at me like I'm speaking.
You're telling me the team with the 7th best record in baseball doesn't have a good roster.
Yes, I'm going to tell you right now. If they put Trey Turner on the trade block today, how many calls do they get? If they put Trey Turner,
they get 3 or 4 calls.
I do not believe that for a second. For a second,
I don't think they get calls.
He's got a horrendous contract. A horrendous 8 years left. And he is so underperforming that contract. And he's got 8 years left. It's a horrible contract. I'm telling you right now, you put Schwarber on the block, they'd get a ton of calls.
Okay.
You put Harper on the block, you'd get a ton of calls.
All right.
I'm not going to take Wheeler can't be traded. He's at the end of his career. Sanchez obviously would get a lot. Other than Schwarber and Harper, who could they put? Like, I hear people going, the Phillies got to go out and improve this lineup. Who could they trade of their starting players?
Oh, there's this guy that's going to be an all-star this year that's probably the best hitter on the planet in Brandon Marsh.
What do you think Brandon Marsh is getting you in a trade right now? Major League Baseball.
He's getting you something.
What do you think he's getting you?
He's getting you under team control, hitting .330.
He's under team control for what, one more year?
Yeah, but still.
What do you think he's
these guys are rentals?
What do you think Brandon Marsh with his careers? I'm saying, well, Connor, I mean, you got to play the game here. They've got a guy in Stott nobody wants.
Right, I don't know what they got a guy. I can't tell you every team's top prospects.
They got a guy in Crawford but they got a guys. Nobody on this. This is their starters.
John,
nobody wants JT Realmuto. Nobody wants your outfield. Nobody wants it. Marsh is having a career stretch.
Okay.
Nobody wants this roster.
The All-Star game is in Philadelphia in like a month.
Correct.
You're going to see 5 or 6 Phillies on that National League All-Star team. That is going to be one of the top 3 or 4 marks in baseball. You can't tell me they don't have a good roster. Now, if you could tell me they're not...
The roster is 27 guys, Connor.
Hang on. If you're going to tell me they're not deep, that's one thing. They're not a deep team.
Connor,
they aren't.
It's not
and that's because they've committed a large part of their payroll to the star players.
Connor, their starting 8 isn't good. Their starting 8 is not good. Their starting 8 is not good.
Okay, then I would hate to see who's a good team. Like, if they're not a good roster, who is?
They're starting.
Are there only 2 good teams in baseball?
I honestly would look at you and go, I do not. If people who are baseball fans could tell me that they look at this Phillies starting 8 and say that Phillies starting 8, man, that's a good starting 8. You got a huge. We have a kid that, by the way, I do not want Justin Crawford to feel any pressure. And I am not in any way out on Justin Crawford. But Justin Crawford has been less than I expected. Less than I expected. But I'm not in any way out on him. It's way too small a sample size. And just he's a slap hitter and a get-on-base guy. He's not a dynamic player. He's a first-round pick that's not a dynamic
That's
player.
what he was always going to be. Nobody ever told you he was going to be anything different.
And for a first-round pick, that's a huge disappointment.
Yeah, if the guy hits 300 at some point in his career.
And you have a guy, then you've got a horrible left side of your infield. Horrible left side of an infield. You've got a horrible contracted catcher who is a guy that is, you went and gave top dollar value in Major League Baseball to, and a 3-year contract. You've got left field. Marsh is having a career stretch, but nobody is saying to you in baseball, Brandon Marsh, they couldn't have traded him last offseason.
Right.
For anything more than another side. He's having a great little run window of time. Right field has been a mess for this organization forever. Stott and Bohm and players like this. The end of their roster is a bunch of quad A guys. They don't have, this team doesn't have, the roster's not good.
They don't have a lot of depth, but you can't look, and you're just talking about the hitters too.
But Connor,
we got to look at the pitching staff. You got 2 Cy Young candidates.
But when you're talking about depth on a roster, you're usually talking about, I believe, in my mind, you're talking about players 24, 25, 26, 27. You're not talking about guys 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. The bullpen is shaky as hell. The bench is shaky as hell.
I don't think the bullpen's shaky at all. I mean, you've got an all-MLB closer. Ryan Kerkering has been one of the best relievers in baseball this year, and you have a bunch of guys coming out pumping 100. I don't think the bullpen's shaky. They've had a darn good run recently, too. What I'm going to contend with, right? There are issues with this roster. They're not perfect. They're not anywhere close to it. They're not the best team in baseball. And I don't know if they can win the World Series with this team. But if you're going to tell me that this Philadelphia Phillies team doesn't have a good roster,
we have a good club.
That's what I'll respond to.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you don't.
All right. Now, are they good with the ABS system?
Yeah, I want to know about this.
So I saw some numbers come out today from ESPN. So they compiled the percentages for hitters, catchers,
right,
and the team as a whole. There are 2 Phillies that are in the top 20 or so that they have here on this list. I want to see if you guys can get them.
So this is the list of, give me the criteria.
This is the highest percentage of successful ball strike challenges.
Well, it's got to be, does Real Muto count?
We're going to do catchers.
Oh, okay.
We're going to do catchers. This is as a hitter.
This is as a hitter. Wow. And 2 Phillies are on it?
2 Phillies are on it.
Schwarber?
Schwarber is tied for 4th
because I've
of Major League Baseball.
I've seen him do it.
Yes.
So I guessed Schwarber.
There's one more Philly on the list. He should be one of the first ones that comes to your mind.
Harper?
Absolutely.
Really? Because he has no awareness of the strike zone, obviously.
Clearly, the numbers would tell you that that is incorrect.
Considering what he swings at, I'm shocked.
Well, the numbers would tell you he has a pretty darn good idea of where the strike zone is. Those are the only 2 Phillies up there. They do have 2 represented for the hitters. Now, what I would say is when we get to the team numbers, it would probably tell you there's a pretty big drop-off between those guys and the rest of the roster. But let's go to catchers. Obviously, we know the name on this list. They go 1 through 20 here. JT Realmuto, where do you think that he ranks when it comes to the catchers?
3rd.
Nick, do you have a guess on that one?
I already looked.
Okay.
All
right. Then you'll absolve yourself from guessing.
I will stay out of this one.
He's 17th.
I would have guessed 3rd.
Kind of crazy, right?
I thought he would have been top 5 too.
I would have thought he was too, because I think he'd start to do something to earn that paycheck. That's because it's shocking.
He's 23 for 28 on challenges.
So it's the
by
number.
By the way, 23 for 28 to me is not terrible.
William Contreras, it's actually 82% and change. So the percentage has you up there.
I don't think that's terrible.
This is the successful numbers, and Wilson Contreras has already 50 successful challenges. You're going to see, William Contreras has 50 successful for Milwaukee.
I don't think
leading all of Major League Baseball. You're going to see a lot of challenges in this series, by the way.
What are you saying? 82% though?
Yeah, it's not bad.
I don't think that's terrible.
This is why pitchers aren't allowed to challenge.
That's great.
Now for the Philadelphia Phillies as a team, they are down in the bottom third of baseball in overall challenge percentage when you look at it from both hitters, pitchers, catchers, like every perspective. There are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams worse in baseball, challenge-wise percentage, than the Philadelphia Phillies. So, in case you're wondering if the ABS is helping them this year, not as much as some other teams. Just to dispel some narratives, because I feel like what we've seen this year in baseball and what you hear from the broadcasts, and I get it, it's a local broadcast, but it's hard to tell day to day, like if they're being more successful than not. The numbers would tell you that for the Phillies overall, as a whole, they have not been one of the more successful teams in baseball when it comes to the automatic ball strike system.
Are you shocked?
No, not really.
No, just based on watching them pretty much every single night, you could get a gauge of like, all right, they're probably middle of the pack, bottom tier a little bit.
I mean, they have one of the. They are. I've attested for a long time. They have one of the worst approaches at the plate I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well,
and now it's sort of backed up.
At least, but if you
it's backed up,
yeah. If you put the stock in the challenges like that, and I think that's relatively fair to do so. So that's where they stand there. I just thought it was interesting for a look in, since we hadn't really gotten numbers on that yet this season. Coming up next, something that we've got plenty of content on so far this offseason, we'll go back to. So much for moving on. A.J. Brown spoke. And what he had to say about Drake Maye, you're going to want to hear this coming up next. Compare it to how he talked about Jalen Hurts, or maybe what he didn't say about Jalen Hurts. We'll play that for you next here on Kincaid and South Tunis. I'm Connor Thomas in for Andrew South Tunis. John Kincaid to my left. Nick Earnshaw on the board. We're back after this.
Kincaid and South Tunis, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
On Wednesday of this week, we had a conversation about when do you move on from the A.J. Brown talk as a Philadelphia Eagles fan? When do you start to focus on the team this year and just kind of move past the whole saga that we went through with his exit, the trade to New England, and everything that went on? You had the podcast that he did talking at length about his time here. We've had plenty of sound clips and guests. We've done a lot on the A.J. Brown stuff. In case you missed it, I know our listeners have heard all of what we've been able to get into.
Yeah,
there.
I think they've heard it.
I'm sure you've caught at some point the A.J. Brown talk. So much for moving on, because, Johnny, you sent me something last night that A.J. had to say in a recent media availability. It seemed like off the field after practice, like he was coming off the field.
They're doing their mini camp also.
Right. And
he had his opportunity to address Drake Maye.
Yeah, so tell me what you thought about
what it's like to be with Drake Maye.
The talent speaks for itself. He can make any throw. But I think what's more impressive to me is that he knows what he's doing. And to be that young and to understand the defense and to understand every little check, the hots, the blitz, and all those things so young and so fast is very impressive. And so I really admire that he knows what he's talking about. He demands everybody else to know as well, and he's a true leader. He's a true leader of men. And it's crazy to see at a young age, he's a true leader of men. So
he is, I'm telling you, he is somebody, I bet you that he's somebody who, everybody has a friend who falls in love fast. Like, you got a buddy who meets a girl and then they're like, oh, I think she's the one.
Yeah.
I think she's the one. And then
maybe I'm that guy.
And then 2 weeks later, you're like, nah, what happened? Nah, she wasn't. He is so ridiculous. He doesn't know Drake Maye from Adam. He has not been around Drake Maye to know enough of him. By the way, so this was good because I got this from Sportsnet in Boston. Do you know how many times him and Drake Maye have been on the field together? I'm going to give you an over-under number, and this comes from the Patriots, like Amy Fadul. How many times have they been on the field together?
You said you're going to give an over-under?
No, I'm going to see if you go. I'm going to see if you go over or under the number.
I'd say 3.
I was going to say 3 as well.
Oh no, they've been more than that. I'm saying because remember they've had some times where they're able to mess around themselves.
8.
Very good.
Okay.
8 freaking times. He doesn't know this guy from Adam. He doesn't know anything about him.
Yeah, so he's talking.
He doesn't know anything. In other words, he's just kissing his ass.
Yeah,
he's just talking. AJ just talks.
Why
Because
did this bother you?
Because
so much?
he just talks,
Sure.
and Connor, Do you not know by now that he talks with agenda?
Yeah, but like,
what's the agenda, Connor? What's the agenda?
I don't care about him saying something positive
Connor,
about his new quarterback, Drake Maye.
Do you think? Okay, so you're very. I've always said this, and it's something I'm going to miss about you on a daily basis. You're one of the kindest people I've ever known, and I'm always going to say that about you. Always know it about you. You're one of the kindest people I've ever known.
Appreciate that. Thank
you are, but because you look for the best in people.
I'm not looking for anything in this.
You absolutely believe that he is. That's his agenda. His agenda is, I look at it as he's saying that because all he is just to talk up Drake Maye.
What do you think?
He's absolutely taking a veiled shot. Oh, look at this guy. You know what the best thing about him, though, is? He can make all the throw. And you know what, too, is? He understands everything about it. And you know what, too? He's a leader of men and all this kind of stuff. Drake Maye has a leadership resume compared to Jalen Hurts, who he just worked with. His Drake Maye's leadership resume is a freaking the size of a business card. Jalen Hurts's could fill a small pamphlet. Jalen Hurts has a leadership guide that would blow away Drake Maye's resume of leadership out of the woodwork. This is a guy, AJ, just stop talking.
What?
Just stop talking.
John, he was asked a question about Drake Maye by the reporters there.
And he goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. It's just,
why does he owe anything to anybody here to say, not talk about Drake Maye?
You don't believe any of him is with agenda.
Maybe it is.
He's a troll. He's
a trolling you, Connor. He's a troll.
I don't care.
I know you may not care, but call it out for what it is. He's trolling.
I just heard a guy just talking up the quarterback that he's with.
So you don't believe he's trolling then?
I don't really think that was meant to be a shot at Jalen Hurts. No.
Nick, do you think it was?
I think he was
veiled.
He was asked a question about Drake Maye. I think
what was the question, by the way? Did you hear the question again?
I think there were subtle shots to Jalen in there.
Subtle shots, veiled shots that didn't need to be there. And by the way, he just goes on and on and on. He doesn't know Drake Maye.
But he's still going to answer the question.
Yeah, you can answer
I'll play both sides.
You can answer that question without going down oh my gosh, polish him up a little bit, AJ. I mean, seriously. Well, give me a break.
That's what you're going to do. You're in there. He's in the honeymoon phase with his new team. Will that change? Probably over time. History would tell you.
Oh, it will, because he burns every relationship down. His reputation will tell you,
right,
that he burns relationships to the ground.
What week will he be on Twitch with Janky Rondo?
Yes.
I don't know. He's got some time off now. The NFL's slowing down. Maybe we'll get something.
It's going to burn. He's going to burn things to the ground, and then like his and then hearing the coaches and talking about AJ, made me laugh.
So read some of this for us.
The receivers coach, Todd Downing. Did you get to hear any of this?
I missed this.
His second practice, AJ had a drop on a go ball, and after practice, he wanted to do push-ups for the drop in front of the group. Everybody chose to do it together. He was creating and augmenting that culture of mutual accountability. What a big load of crap, A.J. Brown. Where was your mutual accountability last year when you were quitting on this fan base, quitting on your teammates, when you were 4-0 Super Bowl champion, and you're jogging on routes and giving up on stuff? Mutual accountability, my ass. Here's Mike Vrabel. I think he showed up with a great attitude. I've enjoyed watching his interactions with the other players. I think that's probably the thing I'm most excited about right now. No, what you're most excited about, Mike Vrabel, is that everybody's not talking about Diana Rossini anymore. That's what you're excited about. Nobody's talking about you and the sideline reporters. That's what you're excited about. Give me a break. Like he's a culture of accountability. What is this like a high school movie? Is this like Remember the Titans? Hey, coach, I'd like to do some push-ups for that drop that I had during the drill there. Yeah, what is this? High school Harry crap.
That's eyewash.
It's AJ. He's contrived. He's fake.
Okay.
Everything about him is fake.
So what? Every time he says something nice about Drake Maye, that we're going to get upset about it?
No, but even that's fake.
Okay.
He's a fraud.
Right, but he's not here anymore. He can't hurt you anymore, John.
No, but he's a
can't
fraud.
hurt you. It's not your fault.
No, but
it's not your fault.
No, but he's a fraud.
It's not your
No,
fault.
but he's a fraud. That's what it is.
But he's like,
no, but he's still taking shots back at a guy. He's talking Drake Maye, talking up Drake Maye. Give me a break.
Yeah, he's just quarterback now. I don't know what you want the guy to say.
I would like. Here's what I'd love to see. Did AJ Brown sleep through the Super Bowl? Because he played with a quarterback who, by the way, really played really, really well on the biggest stage of his life twice against Patrick Mahomes, who's supposed to be the greatest quarterback, and he outplayed him twice. And what did A.J. Brown do? He's sitting here waxing poetic about Drake Maye, who pooped himself.
So what would you want the clip to be? Hey, Drake Maye's cool, but he's no Jalen Hurts.
No, I think it should be
supposed to say?
I'm really excited about what I'm seeing out of Drake Maye. This kid looks like, man, this kid's very exciting to watch. It's going to be fun to play with Drake Maye. I'm excited to play with him. But come on, a leader of men. He's a leader of men. Dude, A.J. Brown, you couldn't lead a bachelor party to a strip club. For God's sakes. I mean,
4-year captain here in Philadelphia?
Yeah, Yeah, guess what? Quitting on his team. Yeah. See him down at,
Well, Sirianni took like a little subtle shot the other day, too.
Yes, he did.
I don't think it was subtle.
Wow. I was being nice.
I don't think that was subtle
at all. Names, you know what I mean?
Well, it was a question about
names.
It was a question.
But he also was taking little shots in the media.
He was also asked about AJ.
He was asked about AJ directly.
This was just a question about Drake Maye. Did AJ Brown go over the top? Yes. Does he actually believe that stuff?
No, because he's an absolutely orchestrated fraud.
And remember, this isn't going away because they have the joint practice coming up later this summer.
Yeah, the joint practices will be interesting. We will have conversation about it at that point. I would just expect that pretty much every wide receiver or like a guy new to a team is going to have a similar soundbite about their new quarterback. They want to talk these guys up.
Is he going to talk about, do you think most of them will talk about their old quarterback, sort of? You think that is? Because you don't believe that's there. Nick, you sort of believe it's there. I do believe it's there.
I think it's a little bit there. Yeah.
I think
I have to say.
I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, veiled shots back at Jalen, that was a 6.5.
I give it like a 5.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'd give it like 4, maybe.
Okay. So we're all in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's unnecessary is what I'm saying. It's unnecessary.
Sure. And it's unnecessary if somebody doesn't hold the door open for me at the Wawa. I go on about my day. He's in New England. I'm moving on. Like, I'm over it. That's just where I'm at. And if we're going to, I can't psychoanalyze every quote that he's going to have in New England because I'll spoil this for you. He's going to have a lot more nice things to say about the Patriots between now and when the season starts.
I can't wait till they crash and burn.
I'm worried about the Birds.
I can't wait till they crash and burn. He's not going to make them a better team. He's not making them a better team.
Well, that's a longer conversation.
Yes.
But we will see as this season gets going. Now, coming up next, we got today's headlines with Nick Earnshaw. Nick, is this your first time doing today's headlines?
With us?
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
A lot of pressure there. The guy who normally does it, I hear, is pretty good. Nick Earnshaw will have those stories for us coming up next. And don't forget,
you sounded like A.J. Brown this morning.
Amy Fadul will join us coming up at 8 o'clock as well. So we'll get her thoughts on the big conversations we've been having today. It is Kincaid and Salchunas right here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Kincaid and Salchunas, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
We got today's headlines coming your way in just a minute with Nick Earnshaw. Amy Fadul joins us at the top of the hour. She'll be with us for the remainder of the show. You can start sending in your Ask Me Amy Thing questions for the final segment of today's show, where you could just pick the brain of Amy Fadul, one of the most interesting people we have here in the Philadelphia sports media scene.
Pick the brain.
Yes, whatever you'd like to know, you can go ahead and send that in. We'll do that later on in the 9 o'clock hour. Let's get a check-in on our Twitter poll before we get to today's headlines. Dealing with the Eagles, I'm interested if that group, the 12% that we had before that said they feel worse about the Eagles today, if that's grown, diminished. So what's our question, Nick, and what are the responses?
All right, our question of the day is, how do you feel about the Eagles now compared to when the team walked off the field against the 49ers? Feel better, feel the same, or feel worse? Relatively unchanged. Feel better is at 57%, feel the same at 32%, and feel worse at 11%.
Okay, so it's gone down 1%. We knocked off 1% of that feel worse. Maybe they didn't want to explain themselves because I asked them to on the text line.
I like the fact that people are just feeling the feeling better Do you think that's in one of my buddies texts and goes, stupid question today? I'm always like that. I'm always like, yeah, go stick to your job. No, that's what I told him to do. I said, he goes, everybody's going to feel better months off of a terrible playoff loss.
Clearly not. Clearly not everybody, but
not everybody.
That's what I expected.
He goes, everyone's going to feel better coming off a bad playoff loss. You're going to feel better.
Some people are feeling there was 30+% that feel the same today, which that's interesting as well. Like, not that I don't want to hear from the people who feel better because we're having an Eagles conversation, a temperature check today.
Sure.
But I'm most intrigued by the people who either feel the same or feel worse. Like, what has brought you to that point, or what has not moved you to the positive with all the stuff the Eagles have changed this offseason? So we have the phone line, text line open, 610-632-0975 is how you jump in on the Davis Honda text line, and you can feel the Davis difference at Davis Honda in Burlington. Also, feel free to send us some voice memos. We'd love to hear your voice on this lovely Friday morning. But we're going to hear Nick Earnshaw's voice next because it's time now for today's headlines.
Today's headlines with the Connor Thomas.
Well, it's not.
No, it's Nick Earnshaw doing it.
But Nick doesn't have an opening yet. He hasn't earned one.
We'll work on that for you.
Yeah,
he hasn't earned one yet.
Haven't earned it yet. I haven't gotten my stripes yet. But by the way, it is brought to you by, for over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com. Nick Earnshaw with the headlines today. And
what do we got?
My first one is regarding the NBA Finals. So in this city, we're all too familiar with L2M reports following games. So yesterday, it comes out late in the game. I'm going to play the play that was ruled incorrect from the NBA Finals. Here is Mike Breen on the call.
Hassel stumbled, lost it. Picks it up again. Hart right with him. Hassel on the drive. Inside, and he stepped out of bounds. Knicks ball with 1:02 remaining.
Now, a big call in the game. And if people aren't familiar, the L2M report is the breakdown from the league of the officiating if there were any calls that were ruled incorrectly in the final 2 minutes.
Yeah, so they ruled that play was incorrect, and he did not step out of bounds. Do you guys think that would have changed the complete outcome of the game?
It could have. I still think at the end, if Fox just turns or runs to the corner and doesn't go to the hoop and turn the ball over.
Yeah, it
changes the whole game. I can't believe that ever happened.
The Spurs still had the game in their hands. I saw someone say on Twitter yesterday, even if Ben Simmons had gotten that ball, the Spurs would have won because there's no way he would have tried to make a layup.
Why did Mitch not challenge it? What is he holding on to challenges forever?
That's the thing is I don't understand that with coaches.
The Knicks have some weird thing going on, man. They had it in the Cavs series where they didn't burn their timeouts at the end. The Spurs have had a couple instances where they're not using timeouts where they should. Like, I don't know what it is about the New York Knicks that forces, like, they freeze the other coach somehow. Weird. But that series, pretty much over.
You think
now?
It's pretty much over?
I mean, you lose that game if you're the Spurs.
I think that's one of the, again, and I heard John Marks use the expression yesterday. It's one of those losses that there's certain losses where you think, okay, you're not coming back from that one.
Yeah.
It sort of feels that way that you're not coming back from that.
I'm with you on that. What else do we have, Nick?
All right, so Chase Utley joined the All the Smoke Baseball podcast with Matt Barnes.
Wow, I didn't know this.
Yeah, and he dropped a little nugget about him and J-Roll prior to games. Take a listen to this.
And I didn't feel like I was the best player on the field, but I felt like I was the most prepared. And if I felt the most prepared, that gave me the most confidence to lead to success. So with Jimmy's perspective, I vividly remember, we're taking BP. This is 2 hours before the game. And he'd be like, who's pitching for them today? I'm like, Jimmy, I've been here for like 4 hours studying the pitcher and every single one of their pitchers. Come on, you got to know who's pitching. So he's like, no, I don't. Tell me who it is. Give me a game plan. So I would kind of run through a game plan with him. But Jimmy was awesome. Jimmy was obviously an amazing player.
I love that there are people in life that can be like Jimmy Rollins.
Yeah.
But I would be like Chase Utley and be like, are you freaking kidding me?
I'm one of those people like Jimmy where I was just like, you know how it goes. I'll be going on vacation. Like if I had a flight, like an overseas flight tomorrow, I wouldn't be back today.
What do Andrew and I both get on you about every time you're traveling?
Yeah, like where are you going? Where are you staying?
Connor,
what are you doing?
Connor, when's your flight?
I don't know.
I don't know. Connor, you're leaving today. Have you packed? No, I'm going to pack after the show.
Yeah.
And Andrew packs days in advance.
Yeah,
I've never heard anything like that in my life.
It always gets done. What I'm going to do, I'm going to prepare, then I'm going to forget, and then I'm going to have to re-prepare. I don't like doing things twice. No.
That's unbelievable.
But Jimmy, maybe, hey, I can't argue with the results.
No.
He's all-time hits leader in Phillies history.
And Jimmy Rollins is my favorite.
Yeah.
Like, as far as the favorite guy that I watched of that era, it's Jimmy.
Sometimes show and go is the best way to do it. And what else do we have, Nick?
All right, final one. This is according to the New York Times. Major League Baseball will question the Dodgers doctor about banned drugs. Dr. Neil El-Atrashi, the physician for the team, supported the UFC star Conor McGregor in using performance-enhancing drugs while recovering from an injury. And the MLB is going to open an inquiry just to ask him why he supported that decision as the team doctor of the Dodgers.
Interesting. Now, I don't think anything will really come of this. I don't think there will be any negative repercussions to the Dodgers organization. Like, if you're looking at this like, ooh, maybe there's some MLB sanctions coming against this Los Angeles Dodgers team. You had a dude caught for gambling, clear lie about his translator stealing money from him. And now he is still continuing to be one of, if not the best players in baseball right now and one of the greatest of all time.
No questions asked.
So I think the Dodgers are going to get off scot-free from that one. But something to keep an eye on. People can dream, right?
It is good, but we're going to find it. There's a lot of athletes of generations that have broken down way early. Their bodies broke down on them way early, and they were the top of their field. I think you can name a few of them. Some of them may have grown up around here. And you say to yourself, why did their bodies break down on them? Why were they so great and why were they so epic? And then by the time they were like 35, their bodies were breaking down. I think we're going to find out there's a lot of guys that did things that sort of cheated the system.
What,
but they got away with it.
In baseball? No.
Well, golf.
Never.
Golf, we saw one. And then you just don't want them as their Uber drivers. You know, like the greatest I ever watched. The person who made me look. No one will ever convince me otherwise. And the greatest I ever watched. The man who made me a golf fan. No one will convince me otherwise.
Nobody's perfect.
Perfect. No one's asking for perfection.
But as close as it gets is Amy Fadul. She joins us coming up next.
I don't know about that. I think she's been on performance enhancers.
We'll talk to her coming up about her Eagles temperature check and what we've been getting into today. By the way, someone on the YouTube says the dude with the mustache filling in for Salchunas is clueless. Connor Thomas, by the way, in case we're not familiar, I am filling in for Andrew. He'll be back on Monday.
Well,
John Kincaid to my left, Nick Earnshaw on the board. Amy Fadul joins us coming up next. It is Kincaid and Salchunas here on a summer Friday, 97.5 The Fanatic.